Welcome to the Christ Sundays 11, Ethnicity and Spiritual Appearance of Jesus Christ. So, in order to talk about this, we will start by some verses of the Bible, and we need first to separate physical appearance and spiritual appearance. So in Genesis, for example, God says, "Let us make man to our image and our likeness." He made, the first man he created was an African, a black African in Africa. And in John 17:5, we see that Jesus praying before being arrested and going through his passions, said, "And now, Father, glorify me in your presence with the glory I had with you before the world began." Which means that Jesus Christ was with God, the Spirit of Jesus Christ was with God or in God before the world was created, which means that Jesus himself created the world, at least helped to create the world. So, and that's why God said, so since the beginning, God knew that he would send his Son in the world. Now, when we read, it's still in the early writings, well, when Jesus was born and Herod ordered to kill all those little innocents, Joseph was warned in spirit to go to Egypt, to hide in Egypt, which means that he was black. They were all black, Mary, Jesus, Joseph. Because in Egypt at that time were black people ruling. So it's just some facts like that. There can have others, but it's not even the most important. So, having said that, we need to make a little history of the African continent before the colonization. Christian people existed in Africa hundreds of years before the invasion by the Arab people, who as an invasion was very violent with killing, a deep stealing people's possessions and imposing Islam. And it was so violent, we can't imagine how many people they could kill so that they can set themselves in all install themselves in all the Maghreb. And that Arab invasion persecution, which now makes the north of Africa Arab, this slavery started more than the colonization, lasted more than 12 centuries, you know, and with destruction, making people slaves and everything. And after that came the second slavery invasion, this time by the Europeans, which is called colonization that we know. And with as well violence, destruction, killing, deporting so many black people to other countries, especially America, stealing all the possession, destroying all the proof. It's this systemic racism, organized racism, to how can I say, to destroy humanity in of Africans and their history. And then those Europeans who invaded Africa came with their Christianity, their view of the Christianity, because Christianity existed in Africa for long, but there is no more vestige, you see, no more something you can really see, because everything has been destroyed or stolen systemically. And but the only proof of Christianity that we know today, nowadays, maybe there are others, but we need to find them. The proof of Christianity in Africa before Arab and Europeans invasion, because Europeans were as well evangelized by Christ's disciples and first Christian everything. But where they were, they came through Africa before reaching the others countries. So they evangelized Africa before even evangelizing all those European countries, etc. So, as I was saying, the only proof of Christianity in Africa before those invasions is a scene in Ethiopia. called before Abyssinia, because that part of Africa has never been colonized or invaded in a way that another people take possession. No, it hasn't happened in Ethiopia. So in some regions of Ethiopia and especially in the region of Lalibela, you have the proof of Christianity in Africa be since even the 4th century after Christ. That's all I say, but much before. But what we, well, so very long search, early Christianity is found in Africa. Centuries before Arab invasion and Europeans invasion. In Lalibela's region in Ethiopia, you can find those vestiges of Christianity in Africa. We hope we may still find some in other African countries, in sub-Saharan. But for now, it has sadly been destroyed, and Africans have been depossessed of that part of their history. I'm not saying that all Africans were Christian, no. I'm saying there was Christians in Africa before Africa was invaded. So after saying that as well, as I said, Jesus Christ was a black man, and even if we start with Abraham, they say it started in Ur region in Chaldea. Well, but centuries before Christ, those regions were occupied by black people. And now, what I will say is that this is the physical ethnicity of Jesus Christ. But now we need to talk about spiritual appearance, because it's not the same. Spiritually, the color of the skin doesn't exist, so doesn't matter. What we worship is the spirit, the angel, the light of God. And Jesus came to save all people, no matter their race. And so the Holy Virgin Mary as well, spiritually, can appear the way they want. When a spirit or an angel wants to appear to a human pacifically, as friends or as a messenger or something peacefully coming from God, they need to adapt to the people they are going to see, so that the person can trust them. So Jesus Christ is now in heaven with God. He's turned back his spirit to God. So the spirit of Jesus Christ can appear as a white man or as a black man. Same for the spirit of the Holy Virgin Mary. Depending on the person they are going to see, depending on the age of the person, depending on the spiritual level of the person, they need to interact with them. So they adapt. Because a spirit can take the shape it wants, the color it wants, and everything. So, whether you use to pray, not that you pray the image, you don't pray the image, you don't pray the stone, it's just the representation, because we need some support, some physical support, because we are human. But we do not worship the stone of the image, we worship the spirit that we have represented like that. Otherwise, if we worship the image, or if we worship the stone itself, it becomes idolatry. Because stone and image have no spirit. Right. So it's just the support we need. And it is not idolatry, because even God, for example, the ark of the people, God asked to represent cherubims on it. And in the temple of Solomon, or in the temples, he asked people to build. He said to represent cherubims, that at that place there should be this animal, or there should be that tree, or this. He described how he wanted that temple. And in the temple there was representation of angels, of animals, of trees, asked by God. So it is the idolatry which is not good. But when you worship God, you worship